Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first AR or if you've been building them for years. There is something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley. I am joined tonight by my co-host, Joe, the Director of Propaganda.
Good evening, everybody.
And also, we have a special guest with us tonight. We have the owner of Breek Arms, Joshua, with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, well, we're glad you were here. And as we go through, we'll get into Breek Arms, a little bit about you and all the exciting things you've been doing. But before we do that, Joe, did you do anything fun in the last week?
I'll let you talk about what we did for fun last weekend, but I was down in Sioux Falls this week for some guard stuff and met up with a buddy of mine at Alliance to go shoot the range they've got there. And apparently on Tuesday nights, they have a dueling tree set up, and you get three, kind of like Steel Challenge, you get 3 runs at it from 10 meters or 10 yards. And I don't know what they're doing with it, but they keep your best time, take your best time. So I managed to shoot it with my X5. I think I ran it in like 4.2 seconds, but they've got, because indoor, they've got rubber targets for their tree. And if you don't hit them just right, it doesn't have enough hit to like move them. So you had to shoot them on the edges, which made it a little more difficult in order to get them to flip all the way around. But it was a good time.
You spent Tuesday night edging.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think I fired about 150 rounds. So had all 3 of my SIGs there and had a good time. Got a little shooting in before we have our 3-gun match this weekend. So
yeah, well, I know that you kind of alluded to it, and we've talked about it. We taught a carbine class here last weekend, and had a lot of fun. Had a great turnout with that. Had six individuals show up. Had quite the range of experience for that class we were teaching, which was made it more interesting and honestly more fun to teach, because it shows the value of going to fundamentals and working on them with someone who had quite literally never fired a rifle before. But I am going to give that gal props, because she didn't buy a rifle. She goes, I want an AR. She bought a lower and then went, hey, so I bought a lower, built a rifle out, took it to a gunsmith and said, is this functional? And what they said, yeah. He showed up, had no idea what to do with it. And so it was, okay, well, hey, you built the gun. Awesome first step. And then, we went through and we had guys who'd been in for 20 years. We had a guy who probably had more training credentials than I have. And he went through and was really working on some stuff because he hadn't shot in 12 years. But it was fun.
Yeah, that lady, she did it right. She went and got a class to figure out what she needs to do. Self-admitted that she has very little background in firearms, and did it the right way. She came, she stuck through all day, even when parts of it were getting frustrated. She'd have, if we'd have done a intro to carbine where we get to zero, like just how would they operate, and then to like zeroing, would have been a great class for her. But she got in the whole day, and she wasn't a bad shot. She definitely needs more time with a rifle to make it second nature like we have. But
yeah, but it's nothing like jumping in the deep end and going 400 rounds the first time you take your gun out.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a test.
And again, she built it on her own, and it ran all day with no issues. Which there's a couple other guns out there that had problems as we got warmer and dirtier.
Yeah, that's where found out some guns didn't like certain brands of ammunition because they might have some pretty tight chambers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And one guy that was not an AR-15 guy, and by the end of it was in love with his gun, with his rifle, and how it operates. So
yeah,
I mean, we had two good converts to this is how you shoot, and a couple others that were just there to
Learn.
freshen up or see what they didn't know or break bad habits they may have started. It was fun.
Yeah. Now, one thing about it was somebody building their own gun. This segues in quite nicely with our guest tonight, because we have, as we said earlier, we have Josh from Breek Arms, and Breek Arms is a purveyor of fine quality firearms parts, and they do a lot of engineering and building and testing of stuff. So, Josh, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, and then let's get into the company.
Yeah, well said. So admittedly, I'm not sure I've actually ever taken a carbine class. I don't know if I should say that on the air, but I did.
You can say that because I, outside of my military training, haven't taken a civilian one, but I was involved with teaching one. So
yeah,
I would recommend anybody, if you have a fundamentals class that's near you, take it. You might learn. You're going to learn something. It might fix a bad habit that you didn't know you had. So.
Yeah. So 556 Zapata here says, I've seen walls full of guns, but a wall full of charging handles is next level.
That's what we do, right? Yeah, it's kind of a stage of like the progression of our charging handle. So, and then I've got the gold one, of course. This is this hammer's the opposite, so I'm trying to point at it. There we go. So that's the one you get in your Willy Wonka bar if you get it.
Oh man,
free tour of Breek Arms. So,
well, that would be exciting.
Yeah, it's about 5 minutes, but so
but there's whiskey.
There is at the end of it. I got a bottle in there somewhere. So, yeah, my buddy or my sales team got me a whiskey decanter set. I don't really drink much whiskey, but I do need to fill this thing up because it's an AK-47 whiskey decanter. And the mag comes out. Pretty sweet.
Take your mag as a flask.
Yep. I just gotta pop the pin though first, and then just pull it out. It doesn't have it's not a rock. It's not a mag. So.
Not a proper rock and lock.
It's not a real AK. So anyway, what was the question? I forgot already.
Well, that's okay. Tell us a little bit about Breek Arms, or a little bit about your history, and then let's get into Breek Arms. How did you find yourself as the owner of a purveyor of firearms parts?
It's a pretty exciting story. Not really, but I grew up shooting. My dad was a big sports clay shooter and did a lot of trap shooting growing up. My brother really excelled. He was so good. I sucked. I don't know what the deal was. I just couldn't sit still, I guess, for long enough. But I always was really interested in rifles and mostly ARs. I went to college at SDSU, not far from you guys.
The good school, the same one I went to.
Yep, that is a good one. That's why we're so smart.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they burned your records duly, and they take no claim in that ever happening.
Tomato, potato, whatever.
Well, hey, I had one professor that I was supposed to get a D in a class, and he gave me a B, which let me graduate. So it's just that those macroeconomics, man, they don't really make sense.
Oh, economics classes are horrible.
They are. So fortunately, I'm like 10 years past that, so I don't really remember too much anyway. But yeah, so grew up not far from Beaver Creek here, where we have Breek Arms headquarters, and grew up on a farm. Went to school for business, got a couple different jobs, traded on the board for hedged hog and cattle contracts for Pro Ag in Laverne, and then worked at a bank for a couple of years, and just wasn't really for me. I had an idea for a charging handle, which is where our Warhammer came from. It was while I worked at the bank. I got that spun up with one of the guys, one of the machine shops in Brookings. He helped me kind of develop the product, and then kind of went from there.
Right on. So you guys started with a charging handle?
Yep. So I did a lot of coyote hunting growing up, and so I needed a I needed a bigger charging handle, and there were some out there that are just really expensive. So I thought I would try and make my own and see what I could do. And hey, we got a $50 charging handle now, and it's $30 less than the competition. So,
Yep. Now, so your first charging handle you came out with was the Warhammer.
correct. Yep. The Warhammer, we have got the Warhammer Micro, which essentially is a little bit wider than your mil-spec charging handle, but still an ambidextrous. That one's becoming pretty popular. And then
I will share the screen here to show it so we can kind of talk about them as they come up.
Sure.
So for anybody who's just getting into ARs or hasn't figured this out or is looking at it, an ambi charging handle means that both sides, when you pull it, it will activate the latch. So it doesn't matter where, like on a traditional mil-spec one, you just have that one notch and spring. So there's a little bit more moving parts and mechanical things going on in one of these ambi charging handles. So getting one at this price point is awesome. And I'm going to wait for him to talk a little bit before I talk about why I'm really liking the Sledgehammer. So,
yeah, so you can see it. We don't take off any reviews. If we get a bad review, you can see 496 5-star reviews. Some are 4-star, but on average 5-star. If there's a bad review, we always reach out to the customer and say, hey, what do we do? Like, what's the issue? You know, how can we help you fix it? They always change the review. So those are unedited reviews.
I just like the reviews when they're complaining about something that's not actually the product. Like,
yeah,
like
the color.
Yeah.
We get the color all the time.
Oh, you guys don't have it in purple, so you get 1 star. Okay.
So 556 Zapata here on Rumble says they're definitely a quality charging handle for an affordable price. I have 2 and they work great.
I know.
Thanks, man.
I know when I was building my Hellbreaker and looking for charging handles, there were a lot of reviews in forums and places like that they're as good or not better than the brands that are $100, $150. Like you're not losing any quality for that price point. So yeah, there's a pretty good following out there for them.
Yeah, just in people commenting, several guys in the comment section are saying that they have a couple already. So you're doing the right things.
And we got to keep the price low. So I drive a 91 Chevy, and I also have a backup 02 Buick, just in case. We'll keep
Beautiful. Tell me it's
those things are going to run forever anyways.
Yeah, I know. They won't die.
Why would you replace it?
I don't know. You won't. I won't. But until they die.
Oh.
Anyway, so moving on to the Sledgehammer.
Yes, the Sledgehammer charging handle. Now, the full disclosure, you guys did send us a couple Sledgehammer charging handles, and we have been running them for a while now. I know that we got them and took them to zombies and actually ran them on PCC guns, which is kind of not the intended, but it's like, hey, we're going to run them on this because getting a good feel for them, and then pulled them out of the PCCs and flipped them in, teaching classes. I was running suppressed while we're teaching classes because I'm a civilized human, and kind of getting a feel for how those things are working. And I think it's become my favorite charging handle I have, specifically on how it's the size of the activation levers, if that makes sense.
Yep, the latches on the wings, the latches, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, so that one we bulked it up quite a bit from the Warhammer. One of the biggest drawbacks of the Warhammer was that it was thin, and that was the complaints we got. So we also added in several. So we also thickened up the stem too. So the stem that covers the backside of your upper receiver to block any gas that's going to escape back there. The Warhammer does have a couple gas mitigating slots in it. You can see from the picture if you looked at it closer on the top stem. So it does have a little bit of redirection. But with the Sledgehammer, we added in I think there's five features in there that help redirect gas. And we've got a few of the, I think we have a little call out for it too, but yeah, there's going to be your 3 slots on the top that we cut out. Then there's going to be a slot on the bottom, and then also a hole on the side. I think if you keep going right, there's going to be, no, there's not. Interesting. No, there it is. There we go. To the right, that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
There
So that kind of explains, that's going to explain all of the gas busting features with that call out. So you got, so underneath the head of the stem, you've got, we cut a kind of a keyway cut in there. And then all we're trying to do is redirect or disrupt the flow of the back pressure, back gas pressure. So also on the inside of the channel, we do kind of a baffling so that it's going to create kind of a swirl. So we use FEA analysis tools. Trey does, our engineer, and he tells us what we think will work.
Shout out to Timu Goose.
Yep, Timu Goose. I didn't know that was his nickname, so that's great. But anyway, we did get a smoke machine, so we're gonna start testing how where the smoke goes, back through the barrel, through the ports. So we're just trying to get it. We're trying to get it from getting back underneath the charging handle into the shooter's eye. So any direction that we can do that is good. So we'll keep experimenting and come out with something even cooler.
So I will say this, when you're talking about like how effective it is and stuff like that, I had 2 guns there when we were teaching our class last week. And obviously I had one that had the sledgehammer in it and one that had just another, random, I think it's a Radian knockoff ambi charging handle. And when I pulled up and shot that, I came away and I had the carbon line on my face.
Sure. Yeah.
As well, I was like, oh yeah, right. Not so much here or here, but right in here. Had this nice black line. And I didn't get that. I didn't have the carbon blow by coming back and giving me my nice war paint. But one important thing with how that works, we're putting that baffling inside the channel of the charging handle. You might think, oh, that's kind of a ridiculous thing to have because it's a charging handle. Why does that need to have baffles or anything to dissipate gas as it goes through? Remember that the hole in the end of your charging handle goes around the gas tube that comes back. So literally all of the gas that's propelling your bolt to the rear, everything that's making your rifle run, all of that gas goes right through that charging handle and is the first place where you can start mitigating all of that coming out.
I think if you've never shot a suppressed AR-15, the first time you shoot it, you notice that more than anything is the amount of just air hitting you in the face, that gas coming back. So how long did you guys, like, how many iterations did that go through to come up with your current version of that? Like how much was going on there?
Sure. So if you counted the Warhammers as iterations, I guess we're probably into like 6 now. So, and now we're going through more. So 7, 8, 9, probably. It's just essentially some of them, we noticed that some of the features that we added would actually make it worse for
counterintuitive.
Yep. So that's kind of what we did is we just broke it down one by one and figured out which ones worked the best and kept those in there. And here we are. That's as scientific as it got.
I like how you've got, you have a product to market and you're still like, no, we're going to get more testing materials so we can make this even better. So that goes to show you guys aren't just putting out something to fill a void or something that's just there to sell. You're looking to make it better, not just make $1. So that's awesome.
Yeah. We get the fortune. It's fortunate because we move so many. It's a huge part of our business. And so obviously it makes sense to focus our time and effort on it. And to focus on something so niche is fun. And most people will be like, hey, it's just a charging handle, which is true. But every little bit does matter, and everything we do, we make it as manufacturable as possible. So to keep the cost down. I mean, just because we maybe spent a ton of time on it, we make it up in volume. So yeah, we're fortunate to be able to do that.
No, that is awesome. And looking at everything you guys have, where you're going through, like, you guys do have a quite a variety of SKUs as you look at everything, because your charging handles, like, you even got into talking about your LE latch, where you have the, it's a smaller latch that goes on kind of like your mini, and where it's, hey, we have this, we can go through smaller, but you're still working across the board to make these things work just a little bit better. And for muzzle devices, then you get into hand guards, and we're going to talk more about Breek lock in just a minute. But it's these small things that are the fine touches are really what makes things stand out. Kind of like the fine touches that VZ grips put into their solid AR grips. And the neat thing about their grips is they're machined from a solid block of G10, and it's great because it's durable. It doesn't get slippery when covered with mud, blood, or sweat. The 17-degree grip angle and wide variety of textures from mild to extreme, as well as color options, are also available, as well as those shorty versions. 1911 grips with extreme customizability, standard slim palm swells, thumb notches, safety cuts, bottom profiles, and more. More than 25 textures and 27 colors are available. The coupon code is good for 15% off all handgun and rifle grips, and that code is AR-15 podcast. But no, as you go through, allowing to be able to get the good grip on these charging handles, even on the smaller one, because if you look at your LE latch, you can see that you change the angle of it a little bit, because like having that angle to do one finger operation is what I'd call it.
Yep. One finger. Yep. So that one was, we call it the LE latch because it was for law enforcement. A lot of law enforcement guys requested it. So yeah, we took as little material as possible, keep it as short as possible. However, you can still get, that side of your finger that you use to grab a charging handle still in there. And then we got serrations on the front and back, so there's less slippage still. So it's mostly for guys who are running, a rig that's, slung to your chest. Otherwise, if you fall, that charging handle can get pushed into your chest pretty hard. So
right on. So I see in the comments here, guys are starting to devolve away from your handles just to talk about muzzle devices now, and you're getting comments of, I wish you made a 9mm flash hider.
We do. Sure.
Oh, you do now. Okay, there. But so when you're going through, you have your flash hiders, and then obviously flash hiders probably led to something that you may not have envisioned yourself doing before, and that was Breek lock.
Yep. We it was quite the project. That went through a few iterations. And gosh, I wish Trey was here to talk about it. He was the brains behind the project. Sorry, Timu Goose.
Yeah. I wouldn't put him in the public. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we try not to, but he gets nervous, and then craps himself.
That's okay. It's okay, little fella.
Yeah,
but
so
just give him a 2-liter bottle of Coke, or 2-liter bottle of rum and some Coke, and he'll be fine.
For a little while, apparently.
Precisely.
That's funny. Yeah, so I'll get into the dirty details, I guess. So we wanted a quick attach mount that was lighter than all of the ones out there, and I mean there's a couple different ones. And so, but we still want it to be as quick or quicker to attach. So those were, so lightweight and quick attach was kind of the idea. I'm spacing on the word, but Trey is going to be really disappointed in me. There's a list that we abide by when we say these are the attributes that we want on a product, and those changed so many times through this project. So it was kind of expensive, but what we ended up with was pretty awesome. We decided to go with all titanium. It did raise the price a little bit, but we're still underneath the price of your stainless quick attach mounts out there by quite a bit. So, and our muzzle devices are super affordable as well. So it's a 3-lug system with a taper. And so you've got your taper in front of the mechanism, and that way you don't get any carbon infiltrated inside the mechanism. So it's before any of the ratchet or spring. So there you go. There's one of the muzzle devices. That's our Sentinel, we call it. So that's kind of our cage style flash hider.
Yep.
Not the seat belt catcher.
When you were explaining this, it goes through. So traditional like 2-lug or 3 lugs generally have more of like almost a 90-degree shoulder. They don't have the taper that comes up. So adding the taper in where after you push it in and it goes into the muzzle device where it goes over and then comes up, the taper will actually stop a lot of carbon lockup from happening.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a higher likelihood of not getting carbon lock. And from shooting it, because these devices are made to be used, and then you rotate the bottom of your hub mount, because having that go into standard hub so you can use it on about any common can, because hub has started to become an industry standard. So you can now thread this into an existing can and then lock it in and be set.
Yep, hub compatible. Most suppressor companies are hub compatible. I'd say a large majority of them. We do have a list on our website that tell you if they are or not. So,
yep. And so we did get to see this, and I got to play with it a little bit. I was very impressed with how the design worked and locked up, especially when you figure when I started handling it was after 8 stages of 3-gun. So it wasn't super clean or anything like that. It had been thrown around, it had been beat up, and you could still pop it on and off really, really easily.
Yeah, we like to think we solved the carbon lock issue that you have with your Surefires and most of your other quick attach mounts.
Yeah, so Trey is in the Facebook comments saying, from any number of comps or range days, my Breek lock has yet to carbon lock.
He's biased. He's definitely biased.
He's a little biased, and that's okay. Yeah. You're allowed to be a little biased, I think, if you help design a product. That's kind of like another product you guys sell or work with was Trigger Interactive, and I got to help with some design of that. So
yeah,
I have mine sitting over there.
Man, I gotta get Tyler to get me send me one, because I had a couple here and then the sales guys took them on the road. So
it's strange how that works.
I miss it. Yeah, I know, they keep stealing my stuff.
Take all the cool toys and leave.
That's right.
But now the rest of your muzzle devices, I see outside of the Breek lock, you have some that they appear to be threaded for the other kind of Plan B style on the outside of the muzzle device.
Yep. So this was a muzzle device lineup we started almost when we started the company. It was just an affordable option. 13, 16, 16 thread is kind of a standard thread that people were using to mount different things on the end of their rifle. However, we have since moved to making Plan B hub mounts, titanium one, and then also muzzle devices. So this product line, we'll keep running it for as long as we see fit, I guess. I know a lot of guys love it, and they've told me not to get rid of it, so we might keep it. I'm not really sure yet, but be aware. I've warned you, I guess, now. So
yes, you have been warned. Now, I want to know about one thing you have on your website that I have never seen before on a website for somebody.
Okay.
And that is a handguard generator.
All right.
So I know you guys make handguards, and handguards for anybody. I know that Desert Cerakote was in the comments earlier, and he was talking about he loves your wedge system for like attaching to the barrel nut. It's one of his favorites, and he does a lot of really like his work was featured in the Cerakote booth at SHOT Show, and so like he's done some amazing stuff over the years, and so that's high prize from him. But
well, thank you.
A handguard is more than just an extruded piece of aluminum. There's actually a lot of thought that goes into them, from how it mounts to a barrel nut to how many, like you can go, oh, how many M-LOK slots are we going to put in, all these types of things. But there can be quite a bit more than just aesthetics to it. So why don't we walk through and tell me the custom handguard generator, how this came to be?
So it is for people who are putting in 50-piece order quantities. So it is more for like a OEM rifle manufacturer.
Okay.
And this is sort of our startup for a custom handguard manufacturing program. There was one other company that was doing it, and they have ceased to do small order quantity custom handguards. So we have a horizontal that we have coded for all of these different designs in different lengths. And so it's a pretty simple macro that we run in order to get the exact profile that the customer chooses. So we can efficiently run 50 pieces and keep it still under $100 per unit. And it's a very affordable way for rifle manufacturers to get something customized. This is our 2D version. So we have a 3D modeled render configurator that will be ready very soon. We're in the final stages of it. So you'll be able to make your selections, and then you'll see the 3D image that you can rotate and look around. We're pretty excited about this, or the 3D configurator. I think it'll help people really envision what they have or what they want. And yeah, we just kind of soft launch that a little bit just to get it out there and start testing the water and see what kind of orders we could bring in. But it's been pretty successful.
No, I just think it's so unique that you have that, because like even if it's your 2D and you're looking more for doing some of that white label stuff for other manufacturers, kind of showing the different designs and like, hey, this is the thought process that goes into it. Anti-rotation tabs. Some people think they're important. Some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I kind of like them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
that's why they're there.
Yeah, it's like, hey, this just makes sense to me in my brain head. But the rest of it, it's you might need it, you might not. And the different things to look at when doing those hand guards, like I'm happy to see there's no key mod option.
There's no key mod unless it comes back somehow through popular demand. I'm not really sure.
I mean,
give it
quad rails
20 years and it'll cycle back.
It'll come back.
Some YouTuber or some guy, it'll be like Keanu or John Wick 38, and they'll be like, we need key mod, and then everybody's gonna buy it.
Yeah, it'll be a throwaway line in some movie. Like, hey, well, we have this key mod rail, and why did I think of that?
I was one of the suckers who bought one of the retro rifles when that all came back. But I have good reasons.
Oh,
I blown money.
I also have retro rifles. Plural.
See? Plural. There you go.
I mean, well, I mean, I needed to have one like I had when I did the invasion back in 03.
Yeah. See, I didn't do that. I just bought it.
I was like, oh, I need one of these. And then I just want one of these because it's cool. I want another one because it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And, then you go back and it's like, man, we should really we should do a dissipator because North Hollywood shootout. But that's neither here nor there.
Yes.
But so when we talk about handguards, are you guys doing anything new with handguards coming up or just kind of keeping rolling with what you have?
No, we do have a new design that we've popped off. It's got an interrupted pick rail on the top. We did some M-locks in the 45 degree on the top 45 degree angles, and we added some QD mounts. So again, a lot of things that people wanted, so we made it. We'll be launching that pretty soon. That's also an off-the-shelf OEM option for rifle manufacturers as well. So we're kind of focusing on the OEM rifle manufacturing. I've said manufacturing quite a bit. It's kind of not making sense to me anymore, but to you guys,
it does, because you're looking at doing the white label stuff, which that's white label is industry term or jargon for I build stuff for other people, and then they put it on theirs, which means that the machine just goes brrr and keeps printing money, even if it's not doing stuff for you to sell because it's stuff you've already sold, which is ultimately what you want, because machines are expensive.
They're very, very expensive.
It's
not so bad when the bank buys them.
But that's a little better, unless your name is attached to the loan.
Yeah. So we like the wedge mechanism that we made. It is patented, that particular wedge system. So it's got a channel inside the barrel, so it can't move forward or backward. And then you don't need anti-rotation tabs, because in order to rotate them, you have to be over like 40 foot-pounds, which you're actually rotating your barrel. But if you're afraid of your barrel nut, if you're afraid of your barrel nut, backing off, or then anti-rotation tabs make sense.
Yeah.
And that's why the new one has anti-rotation tabs.
Well, it's also where it's like, if you say that and explain it, where, hey, it takes over 40 pounds of rotational force to turn this, which is generally more than enough to start spinning that nut, makes sense to somebody who's built a lot of rifles.
Sure.
But to Joe consumer who just looks over and goes, but this one has tabs, because that means it can't. You kind of sometimes we have to build things for the lowest common denominator, and that's not saying anything bad about anyone, but it's I have had these conversations.
It's building to perception as opposed to reality, because you can, like, what do they say? Like, blue foods don't sell because people don't. It looks like mold. It doesn't look good. Like, if something looks weak or looks subpar, people aren't going to buy it. It could be the best thing in the world, and
that's why blue waffles failed.
So,
yeah. What waffles failed?
Blue waffles failed.
Blue waffles. Yeah, that's sad. Yeah, I mean, it is reality and it is perception. It's both, like, because they do, anti-rotation tabs do help. So get your handguard with anti-rotation tabs.
Those are some things. So you guys have obviously been putting a lot of thought, and like, I just like the fact you have. So you were putting one of the other things, just looking through some stuff on your website. So you have M-lock rail sections that have a QD in them with the ramp that are made from aluminum, but at a price comparable to polymer.
Yep. It's the same thinking we have with all manufacturing. We set it up automated. We make a lot of them, and the design is really out of, like, we added a QD mount on there because our handguard didn't have a QD mount. We also designed it in a way that looks aesthetically pleasing on our rifle. And two, I've had some Picatinny rail accessories that don't go on. They have to like rock them on. So the ramp is really for you to slide it on and then lock it down. So if you had like a quick attach bipod, slide it on, hit the quick attach lever, and away you go.
Yeah, I'll be purchasing some of these just because, one, I like when I mount my flashlights, generally it's about where I want my front QD.
Yep.
In the M-Lock. So it's, you make this, then you have to make some adjustments for things. But this is a win-win situation for me.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good products for sure.
Yeah, and then also being made out of aluminum is not that I have anything against polymer products because I do run a ton of them, but aluminum's just generally a little bit stronger.
Yep.
Joe, you got anything to question or add here as we go through talking with Josh? Because I think we're kind of hitting the end of the things that Breek Arms offers. We've talked about some stuff they have coming up where they're doing their Breek lock, their charging handles, and a new handguard system.
Was following along on their website while you were talking about that stuff. I think we hit most of it. I was just actually trying to see, do we have an affiliate code with them? Because I have a feeling they're about ready to get flooded with traffic and orders, and I'm like, I thought we did, and I can't find it.
Yep, I don't know if we have an affiliate code with you guys set up yet, but
we'll get you one. How about this? I just pulled up our website and I changed all of our t-shirts to $10 free shipping. So there you go.
Oh man.
$10 t-shirts. We usually sell them for $30. So $20 off tonight. Till I remember to change the price back.
Till I remember this. Now, one thing I do have to comment this. You guys have a couple things in here that I absolutely love. And one of them is your tactical beaver patch. Now, I can look at this, and we are big fans of patches. I just have a feeling that this was not made by our favorite company, Patriot Patch Company, patriotpatch.co. They make all your favorite morale patches, everything like that. They might not make this one, but I bet you they could get you set up to do it. Go check out Jake and the guys at Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co. And no, so those are awesome. Wait, here we go. Desert Cerakote just commented here. We put the hand guards on all custom battleware American flags, raffle AR-15s for folds of honor. These bring a lot of money for scholarships for the children of fallen service members. So they're using all your hand guards for those types of things, which is awesome to know your products are being used like that, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. That's awesome. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah. But, thanks for giving the guys a chance to get some t-shirts at $10, which is pretty rad because they're good designs too.
They cost us more than $10. So, and these are super comfy. Do you have one yet?
I don't have one. Yep. We'll get some.
Get your wife one too. They're really comfy.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get some coming here.
Are you guys going to be at GunCon this week? Next week, whatever it is.
Yeah, we didn't. Our schedule is so booked with trade shows this year. We went to GunCon last year, and so we kind of just switched it up this year. And I've got a couple more to throw onto the sales boys, too. So GunCon did not make the list this year, unfortunately.
No, but I think I talked to you guys, or some of the sales guys there last year at GunCon down in Grinnell. But we will be headed to GunCon over in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio, because that is the place everyone wants to go to. I mean, we on the shores of a great lake that was once on fire. It sounds better if you say it in the radio announcer voice, right?
Yep, it does.
No. So when we go through here, guys, Josh, where can they find Breek Arms and start following all the stuff you guys do?
So breekarms.com, BreekArms, breekarms.com. Breek is Beaver Creek smashed together, in case anybody's wondering where the name came from. So breekarms.com, Instagram /BreekArms, Facebook, Facebook.com/Breek Arms, and LinkedIn, we got that too. We got X as well. So if you want gear, if you want the t-shirt, breekarms.com, hit the gear icon on the top menu. T-shirts are $10. It finally did change the price, so they are now $10.
I saw those there, and now we have one other person here looking for something. They're saying, they keep asking me for like a movie announcer thing, in a world where you need reliable custom Kydex gear, you need to look at Klecker Tactical for your one-stop shop. Using premium USA source material, Klecker Tactical will build you a holster in a variety of styles and colors, along with light and laser options. Whether you're a law enforcement, a competitive shooter, an everyday gun enthusiast, trust that Klecker Tactical will provide every firearm owner has access to top-tier personalized holsters, as well as quality and custom products you can't find anywhere else. Use code AR-15 podcast for 10% off at kleckertactical.com.
Hey, Julie, check your phone and in the private chat, give me that validation code.
For Klecker?
No, for it. You should have got one. You should have got a text with a validation code. I need the numbers.
Oh, okay.
You can probably say nobody knows what website I'm on, so they wouldn't be able to.
We should have you do our voiceover for our videos. That's what we should do.
I can make that happen.
All right.
You let me know, and we can make that happen. And I will throw it in as much movie announcer voice as you need.
Awesome, love it. Hey, they got those $20,000 videos that they do for like Smith and Wesson and Radian, and your voice sounds just like that guy. You should be making money.
Yeah, I should be. Instead, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But I get cool charging handles.
That's true.
And that's cool. And a lot of other products come with other things that are cool, like awesome stickers. And if you're in need of awesome stickers, check out Sticker Phantom. You can get all kinds of things, like our Based Bluey stickers that he makes exclusively for us, or our Steamboat Willie stickers. Now, let me grab one here because, of course, I can't grab it. So our Steamboat Willie stickers, as you go through, he will produce your stickers for you. They produce all of ours, and you can get yours for 10% off with code ARPodcast. And Klecker says he's recording that for all of his video intros. And I really hope you do. But Josh, you got anything else to add here before we kind of hang it up for the night?
We'll keep trying to make cool accessories. We're always open to ideas too. So
perfect. I think Joe is getting us signed up for the.
No, we already have one. I'm just trying to figure out how to get the link to everybody.
Oh, well, the link will be in the show notes if anybody wants that. If not, I can publish the link from that right into the comment
chat
section
for everybody right now, but it's not.
So while we go through these wonderful technical issues, as we talk about this and say, hey, we're doing great pushing things through. When you have, when you're doing all these things and making the world better through better gun parts, what is your kind of pie in the sky look at what the next giant thing is going to be for you guys?
Well, like I said, we are manufacturing our own Plan B hubs, Plan B muzzle devices. We do think that's a great suppressor mounting system, and the market's really taken to that. We have taken on a couple contracts for OEM suppressors, so we got our machine running in Laverne, popping out suppressors. So that's pretty exciting for us. A lot of stuff, good things happening for our OEM Breek manufacturing space. But we're finally getting into distributors, so we'll be blowing up across the U.S. to a lot of stores, brick and mortar stores. So you'll likely see our product start entering those stores in the next year. But we've got a list of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things we want to do. I don't know which one we're we're going to do yet. So I don't want to say anything. So I don't want to make promises I can't keep. But when I do, have me on again, and then we can talk about it.
Oh, and we would love to have you on pretty much whenever you would be willing to come on, just because.
Oh, sure. Well, next Thursday then, right? Is that? Just kidding. I got to put my kid.
Next Thursday might be a little off.
Yeah. Next day we will be at GunCon. Guys, in the comments for this, for anybody watching live, we do have a link to Breek Arms, and then we will also have it in the show notes for everybody. And with that, Josh, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate you being here and taking your time to talk to us and develop great products.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, Joe, anything else to add?
No, just go check out their stuff. Order some stuff. They've got good products. Like we said, we've been running them. I picked one up before I even realized they were part of the show, and I haven't had any issues with it. And they were nice enough to just throw us a few to demo, and we loved them. So, and if you paid attention to the guys in the chat tonight, it seems like I didn't see anybody complain, and everybody loved them. So they're a good product, good company and they're not going to break the bank. They're not some of those other guys.
Yeah, and we got guys in the comments saying thanks for the shirt, and they're going through. So, yeah, thanks so much for coming on. And guys, everyone out there, Josh, you want to hang out for just a second when we get done here? Everyone out there knows the things that I'm about to say, because I'm going to tell you to go out and get training. Guys, get medical training. Go out, take a fundamentals class, get training, run your guns, run your equipment, test it, make sure it works. And remember that you will be your own first responder. Expect to self-rescue. And you folks out there, stay safe and stay armed.
Thanks for listening to the AR-15 podcast. Check us out on all our social media. AR-15 Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on Instagram. If you want to send us a question, rant, or suggestion, email us at AR-15podcast2.0@gmail.com. That's the number 2, period, the number 0. If you want to be part of the daily conversation, you can find us at Discord, AR-15 Podcast. Don't forget to check out dangfree.net. Sign up is simple and free, and you can communicate with us, other podcasters, and you, the listeners. Lastly, check out all our sponsors: Patriot Patch Company, BZ Grips, Blacker Tactical, and Sticker Family.